Incineroar, the heal Pokemon, a fire and dark type first discovered in the Alola region. Being the final evolution to Alola's regulated fire starter, Litten, Incineroar is a common yet strong asset for many beginning trainers, assuming it's in the mood to even listen, that is. It's described as a selfish Pokemon with a very violent disposition, capable of beating opponents down with a combination of powerful punches, kicks, and a hot temper to boot. If you get on Incineroar's bad side, it will not show you any mercy. That is, unless it finds you weak. Its ego makes it only want to fight those who are stronger than it. Incineroar refuses to fight anyone it knows can't fight back. In fact, despite its crude nature, it actually goes out of its way to help those who are weak, especially children. Incineroar is surprisingly great with kids. That said, as we all know, Pokémon Unite is not actually a kid's game, so if it were to ever take a break from Smash Bros. And step into the ring of Unite, it wouldn't be holding anything back. Incineroar I see best suited to the all-rounder role, being just about balanced in all stats, though it excels at being a hard-hitting bruiser. It always starts matches as Litten, becomes Torracat at level 5, then finally becomes Incineroar at level 8. The ability I've decided to give it can be Intimidate, and it will have two separate functions. For the first, in line with its nature of only wanting to fight the best, Incineroar will actually deal more damage to Pokemon who are a higher level than itself, with it hitting harder the larger the level gap is. It only deals normal damage to Pokemon whose levels are equal or lower than its own. The second passive is a bit more intricate. After it lands 3 basic attacks, or whenever it lands a move, it'll gain a boosted stack. It can have up to 5 boosted stacks at a time, and each one gives Incineroar a small increase to its attack stat. It's able to hold on to these stacks for as long as it wants to give itself a permanent attack buff. However, once it has 5, they will all fall off whenever it uses a move in order to grant that move a new effect. While Litten or Torracat, all this does is increase the amount of damage that the move deals. But once it's Incineroar, it'll want to intimidate its opponents by showing off a little, and will cause its moves to gain whole new effects, of which I'll go over once I get to the moves themselves. So the idea is that you want to ramp up the crowd, get them excited, then once the hype is at its max, appeal to them with a powerful yet stylish move. Incineroar at default only has 3 normal basic attacks, no traditional boosted one like most other Pokemon, but these basic attacks will get stronger as its attack increases with each boosted stack that it gets. And to recap, you get boosted stacks for every 3 basic attacks that you land or by hitting opponents with your moves. And to get into those moves, starting with one of the first moves you can have as Litten, it can be Fire Fang. This has Litten do a quick dash ahead, then bites with flame-infused fangs at the end of the dash. Pokemon who get bit will be stunned for a bit, the normal reaction if a cat suddenly bites you. It looks so cute though, all I wanted to do was pet it. But if you're smart after that, then you will back off. Otherwise, you'll be greeted with the claws, which is what it will be using for its other starting move to pull off Fury Swipes. This has the cat furiously swiping its claws directly in front of itself numerous times, dealing small damage that racks up quickly with each strike. And any opponent not smart enough to back away and are hit by every single claw swipe will get stunned in place. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Though I think the more appropriate saying here might be, if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Cause once it evolves into Torracat at level 5, that's when it can replace Fire Fang with one of 2 new fire-type moves. The first being Flare Blitz. This has the user do a charging tackle while engulfed in flames straight ahead, and any opponent in its way as it charges will be stunned in place for a bit. This is also the first move that will gain a new function if used as Incineroar while it has 5 boosted stacks. This changes Flare Blitz so that instead of just doing a simple charging tackle, Incineroar does a lunging lair Lariat, causing any opponents in its path to get clotheslined, tossing them backward opposite from the direction that Incineroar is charging into. And when the move is upgraded at level 11, the charge distance overall is slightly increased, giving Incineroar a bit more dash range. The other move to replace Fire Fang could be Flamethrower. This has the user simply shoot a wide burst of flames forward. All opponents in the area of effect will be slowed and burned, weakening them for a bit. If Incineroar uses Flamethrower with 5 boosted stacks, after hitting opponents with the Flame Burst, Incineroar will automatically follow it up by lunging at the closest opponent hit by the flames and grabs them. Incineroar then spins the foe around with a giant swing, then chucks them away. At default, Incineroar always throws the foe into the direction that Incineroar was initially facing. However, if you hold the control stick into a direction while Incineroar spins, then it will actually throw that foe into that direction. So yeah, Incineroar uses Flamethrower to throw opponents covered in flames, turning it into a literal flamethrower. And when it's upgraded at level 11, that just increases the range of the Flame Burst, giving it a slightly bigger area of effect. Now for its other set of moves in the kit, replacing Fury Swipes as soon as it evolves into Incineroar at level 8, the first can be its signature, or kinda signature, Darkest Lariat. This will have Incineroar briefly spin in place while holding both of its arms out. Any opponents within the area of effect of the Lariat will take a decent amount of damage as they're being shoved away. Plus, this move naturally ignores shields, acting like they're not even there and always hits the opponent's health directly. This is also a move that you can use in conjunction with either Flare Blitz or Flamethrower. Using Flare Blitz while spinning has Incineroar engulf its body in fire, causing the Lariat to deal more damage, and it also gains the Flare Blitz effect on top of its own, now being able to stun opponents as well after they're shoved. Using Flamethrower while spinning will have Incineroar shoot flames from its navel belt as it spins, causing it to create a fiery vortex around itself, thus increasing the range of the move. Getting hit by the flames alone deals less damage than getting hit directly by Incineroar's arms, but it does add on Flamethrower's effects, making it so that Pokemon in the area of effect will be both slowed and burned on top of the natural shove. Now, like I said, this Lariat spin is brief. He spins, then stops very soon after, making it a more immediate attack. But if you have 5 boosted stacks when you activate Darkest Lariat, then Incineroar will actually prolong his spin, able to keep the Lariat going for up to around 5 seconds at most. You are able to move around while you spin, and you can cancel it at any point by using the move again while spinning. Flare Blitz and Flamethrower can still be used during the boosted Lariat, and their effects do last throughout the whole duration of the extended spin. And when Darkest Lariat is upgraded at level 13, Incineroar becomes completely unstoppable while it spins. Then for Incineroar's final move, it can be the Dirty Throat Chop. This has Incineroar leap forward, then at the end of the leap, does a wide chop with one of its arms. What's so dirty about that? Well, if a Pokemon hit by the Throat Chop has a move on cooldown, then that move's cooldown will be extended by a couple of extra seconds. If opposing Pokemon have both moves on cooldown, then it targets the last move they used, leaving the other one alone. And this becomes dirtier if you happen to have 5 boosted stacks while using Throat Chop, because this will lead to Incineroar following up the Throat Chop with a Choke Slam on the closest Pokemon caught in Throat Chop's area of effect. The unlucky Pokemon hit by the Choke Slam will be dealt additional damage, gets briefly stunned, and it adds a couple more seconds to the move whose cooldown was already extended, making that Pokemon have to wait even longer before they can use that move again. So here's the kicker. The unboosted Throat Chop can only extend cooldowns on moves that were already on cooldown, so nothing happens if it hits a Pokemon with no moves on cooldown. But the boosted Throat Chop plus Choke Slam combo doesn't care about that, because if the Choke Slam hits a foe who doesn't have a move on cooldown, it'll target the last move they used and force it into a cooldown for a few seconds. You don't get to play, only Incineroar gets to play. Even more so when Throat Chop is upgraded at level 13, which increases the distance of the move's initial leap, allowing Incineroar to travel even further to chop some throats. Incineroar is a Pokemon that requires a lot of discipline to be able to manage properly. Keep track of your boosts and the spacing of your opponents. That's what'll let Incineroar truly shine. If you allow it to just give in to its rash and violent nature, then you won't be able to tap into its full potential and may find yourself getting tapped out a lot more often than you'd like. For Incineroar's Unite move, learned at level 9, I call it Feral Finisher. This is a special kind of Unite move. Incineroar will buff itself up, automatically giving itself 5 boosted stacks that will not drop off until the Unite move ends, allowing Incineroar to show off as much as it wants while going all in with its attacks. But that's not all. If you use the Unite move again during the buff, Incineroar will automatically target a single foe and will perform one of 3 different kinds of wrestling moves on them depending on that target's current health. Using one of these wrestling moves will not end the Unite, but it can only be used once per Unite. So if there's a specific move that you want to use, you'll need to pay very close attention to the opposing team's health. If the target has 100 to 66% health, Incineroar will run up on that player, grab them, then smash them into the ground with a German suplex. This deals a decent amount of damage, and it causes the opponent to be tossed behind Incineroar, also getting stunned in the process. This is great to do on opponents who might be trying to avoid getting into scraps, like backline fighters and such. Target those cowards to throw them directly into the lion's or tiger's den. If the target has 65 to 33% health remaining, then Incineroar will rush up to that foe, grab them, then slam them into the ground with a diamond cutter. This positions that foe directly behind Incineroar and stuns them in place for quite a bit, even longer than what the German suplex can do. This is great to single out a potential problem that you believe you can handle on your own, holding them in place to wear them down and potentially take them out. Then lastly, if the target has 32 to 1% health remaining, Incineroar will jump high into the air, then slam down on top of that target with a powerful moonsault, dealing massive damage and tossing that poor fool into the air. This doesn't only affect the target, by the way. The moonsaulting body slam has an area of effect that will toss all opponents too close as well, but it deals the most amount of damage to the target specifically. This is the hardest hitting of the 3 moves, and while it's not guaranteed to KO opponents, it has a decently high chance to do so, especially considering the amount of remaining health the target must have in order to even activate it. Acting as Incineroar's big finale, the moonsault is there to end the show. A proper Feral Finisher. And that does it for What If Incineroar was in Pokémon Unite. So, if you have any Holowear ideas for Incineroar, any of the previous Pokemon that I've made movesets for, or even any Pokemon currently playable in Unite, share your ideas in the comments. Or, if you want to make artwork for your ideas, share that with me as well on Twitter with the hashtag WhatIfUnite. I'd love to see them, and I'd be more than happy to show off your art in the next episode, though please be sure to put your signature on them. In which case, if you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see even more Pokemon be given possible Unite movesets, be sure to subscribe. Also be sure to go check out Krashy's channel. He's been a big help in developing these movesets, and he's great with helping others improve their skills at Pokemon Unite. So definitely look him up if you want to increase your win rate. And if you want to support this show, you can click the join button either below the video, the one on my main page, or the link in the description to become a sponsor for my channel. Doing so will get you access to my Discord server, channel emotes, and so much more. And of course, if you have a character that you want to see be given a possible Unite moveset, leave a comment down below or contact me on Twitter at BrawlFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!